G'day, Pat the Backyard Builder here. Well, we're doing some siding today. Um, Catching up on a few sheds here around the yard, and I've got a couple on the go here. You might remember this project from last summer here, my homemade siding. I've stained the shed up now and finished this off with some fascia, and well, I'll just turn the camera and show you it here. As you can see, it looks quite nice. I'm really happy with the results, and I sanded a nice walnut brown, and I think it's going to work really well now. I'm also testing out a new toy today. A couple of new toys. I just made a windscreen for the camera here, and I'm going to try it in the light breeze that we have today. And that's been a problem up until now, as the breeze has created a noise across the camera's microphones, and never been able to hear above the wind screaming past. Every time I get a little bit of a light gust, it seems to be a problem. So, and then I also got a new staple gun today. Now this staple gun is a special staple gun. What this gun does, it's actually for doing siding. And now the problem with siding is you don't actually staple siding to the wall. You hang the siding. It has to be free to move. So what this gun does, it's got a special tip. I'll just show it to you here. It's got this special tip here with the two bumps on it here, and that's for putting in the holes of the siding. And what it does is it sets the staple above the siding, so that the siding is still free to move afterward. See, the traditional way is to use a roofing nail and just put it in loosely. But with this new siding stapler, it can actually set it so that the staple sits above, and then it's got two little bumps that are guided into the slot here on the siding. So that should make the job go quicker and easier today. You know, the first thing you need to do with any siding job is get your trims on first, and then the siding goes in afterward. So I've got metal capping that I'm using to go around the doorway, and what we're doing here, I've got it all pre-cut and everything to size, so it should go lickety split today. We're just going to put that on like so. Now, just so that this piece here doesn't slide away on me, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set it into place here, and just use the old standby, the roofing nail to hold it in place. Go. And then that'll just cap right over that and hide that nail for me. Okay, now I'm not putting all the screws in the trim just yet, because what I'm doing is I'm actually going to use the screws as a decorative pattern, and so they'll hold the trim in place and kind of be a decorative element as well. Just show you a bit on the doorway here what I'm up to here, because I'm just putting them in a nice decorative pattern, so they're decorative and functional at the same time. And again, we've got more up on top here. You can see up in the corner here. And it goes like that all the way around the door. And we're going to have the screws match on the outside of the door frame as well. Anyways, we're just going to continue tacking this this trim on here, and again we're just putting it in a place where it can't be seen, because we're going to put our decorative screws on the overlap. And I've got these pieces all pre-cut today to save a little bit of time. So, okay, so I've got these pieces of trim are all held in places by a single nail. I haven't put any of the decorative screws in yet, but they'll hold this in place once everything's done. Now I'm not going to put the top piece in because I'm not going to put a nail through the face of that. That's only decorative screws holding that one in, so that'll be done last. But the next thing we're going to do, now that I've got this trim hanging here, I can get my doors into place. Now, when I build my doors, I always build them an inch smaller than the opening. That way I've got about 3/8 of an inch here, 1/4 of an inch in the center gap, and another 3/8 of an inch on the other side, and well, about 3/8 to half an inch clearance on the top and bottom. So you build them an inch smaller each way, and that'll give you lots of room to set and adjust a double door set. So start out with piece of plywood on the bottom here. You just lay that down, and that'll hold your doors up. And then a few more 1/4 inch pieces of plywood shim, and that'll just hold the doors in place as you set them. I've got 1/2 of the hinge set on the door already, and I'm just going to set the door into place and put the shims in, and then the door will be ready to actually bolt to the opening. So anyways, after we have the doors all aligned and everything's all shimmed up and squared up and ready to go here, and it's just a simple matter of taking something to pilot your hole, like through the tin, like a nail, and just simply pilot a hole, and then you can put your screws in place. And that's about that easy. So the same thing down at the bottom here. Just get one nail in, or one screw in place. So now the reason for only doing one screw at first is just in case your doors don't quite work the way you need them to, and you need to adjust them. With the tin, well, actually even with the wood, if you try and put a hole on top of a hole, it doesn't work very well. So if you just have to move it like half a hole to adjust it, it's not going to hold very well. So what you do is, you got 4 holes available, so just use one of them. That's enough to hold the door, and then make any adjustments you might need to make, and then go back and put all the screws in, and then that way everything will stay together for you, and you don't have problems with holes being out of alignment. So we'll just give this a quick try here, and I can see I'm going to have to shave the back of the door here. So that's rather easy. I'll just get the power planer out, and just take some of this off this door here. But here's my other shim, and just see how tight that actually is. It is fairly snug, so I'm going to have to take a good amount off that edge. So anyways, once you've got your doors working fine, you can put the rest of your door hardware on now. Handles, hasps, whatever. Myself, I usually put a couple of barrel bolts on the top and the bottom of the inside door, the one that's got the block on it, and that way people can't pull open the set of double doors, and it just has a little bit more security. Although, in all honesty, with the hinges I've got on here, anybody with a screwdriver can get in if they really wanted to. But anyways, yeah, just take a barrel bolt and you just put it level with the bottom here, and then you line your door up on the inside here and drill a hole in the floor, and then your barrel bolt just drops through there. And I put one up on top as well, and depending on how you've constructed the inside here, it may sometimes be necessary to tack a block so you can drill up into it. But okay, so to line this up, you just simply close your door to where it's going to normally sit. Drop the barrel bolt. Just drop it down onto the deck, and then just take a pencil and mark out where that barrel bolt hits the floor, and then just take your drill, 3/8 inch bit, and just drop it to the floor, and there you go. It hits every time. Now that's not going to go anywhere, and you can do the same thing up at the top. You can either put a block up there if you need to, or just drill into the header, however it lines up. Okay. Hey, now when you go to put your hardware on the door, now some people have fancy formulas for measuring all this stuff. They put handles at a precise height and whatever. Myself, what I prefer to do is I get level with the door. Now in this case I've got the shed propped up on blocks, so I'm going to have to step up a bit. But what I do is I just walk up to the shed and say, that feels comfortable, that's where it's going, and that's where I put the handle. And then the hasp and hardware, I put about 3 or 4 inches below that. So it looks like this is going to line up just nicely with this section right here. So that's where we're going to put our handle, right there. Once we have the one screw, we'll put the others into it. There we go. And then the hasp, we put it generally about 3 or 4 inches below. At the end, you can measure it or you can eyeball it. I prefer just to eyeball it. And punching nail. Again, we'll just get one screw into this. And then we will use that to line up the hasp on the other side. So anyways, once you've ensured that the hasp is working fine, you can punch the rest of your holes and put in the rest of your screws, and same thing with your handle. Now, unfortunately, I've only got one handle because they ran out at the supplier, so I have to wait till they get another batch. So I'll put that on in a few days, not a big deal. But for now, everything works just nicely. So we're on to the next step, which is to kind of pretty everything up here. Now we've got some screws already in the face here. These ones are kind of functional. I want to take, well, I have to finish up here, get these ones, get that top piece on, and then what I want to do, I want to take a few extra holes and just put screws in the face here, just for decoration, and as well just to hold these longer pieces of capping in place. So, but we'll just do that all by tape measure, and okay, now this last row here is just kind of all decorative. I've got it set 24 inches from the bottom, which is halfway between here and there, and it's well, it's partially decorative, partly to keep this from buckling up, but it's more for looks than anything else. So. Kind of put them in about 3/4 of an inch from the edge, and just go across the whole row. We've got around the top of the door, and everything is looking kind of nice now, and we're at this point we're ready to go on to the next stage, which is putting the soffits and fascia on. And we'll catch that next week. Have a good day.